He's an actor, a producer, and a director. He's the winner of many awards, the Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, and an Emmy, just to name a few. You may know him as the star of film and television, and some of the best movies ever: Footloose, Apollo 13, A Few Good Men, Flatliners, and Mystic River, just to name a few of his work. But you may also know him as the husband of Kyra Sedgwick and the father of Travis and Sosie. He is all of that. But what you may not know is that Kevin Bacon is carrying on the family tradition of being an activist and an advocate for social justice. We are so pleased that you can join us tonight, Kevin.
I hope my video is working. It seems to keep being turned off. Ah, there I am. Yes, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, when Kyra told me that you guys were doing this, and I read up on all the incredibly hard work that everyone is doing in this organization, I was thrilled to be here. You know, when I was a kid, I grew up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I remember sitting in class, and I think it was in the public school system. They had a course called civics, and I don't think it even exists anymore. As far as I know, it doesn't. And what we would talk about was sort of like doing the right thing. And then, and one of the things that they would talk about also was government, and the way that our government was different than other governments, and the branches of government, and they're trying to explain to us kids all that, you know, kind of complicated stuff. And it was a little dull, but it really did kind of, you know, stick with me. And how we had this system where people could vote and make changes and you know, affect things in their communities in this country based on what they did with their vote, and how different we were from these other places that had dictatorships or kings or leaders that would take over using a coup or something, and then hold on to power for years on end. And this really stuck with me. And I remember going with my mother to the voting booth. And it was kind of a magical day, because she was doing something outside of work, and I would sit there and wait for her. She walked in and closed the curtain, and she came out, and I knew how important to her things that were happening in our community and things that were happening in this country and the world were to her. And there was always this sense that she had, you know, done something important on that day. And I also remember hearing about the bad old days of this country, and hearing how there was a time when Black people weren't able to vote, and women weren't able to vote, and Native Americans weren't able to vote, and how that was the old days, and that was, you know, ancient history, and we're so far past that. I really feel like we're on the precipice of returning to the bad old days. And that's something that I find very terrifying. And I think that the work that all of you are doing to make sure that that does not happen in this incredible country of ours is immensely, immensely important. And the idea that anybody in power would try to stop people from exercising their right to vote, or make it harder so that they wouldn't be able to vote, or create barriers based on trying to keep any sort of American from expressing their right to opinions and points of view, is, to me, it's so unpatriotic. It's so un-American. It's so reprehensible, and it's truly unconstitutional. And right in our faces, this is happening again and again and again. And as we all know, I mean, I'm obviously preaching to the converted, but you know, all the things that we care about, whether it be social justice or the environment, or reproductive rights, or gun control, or healthcare, or anything, it all has to come back to our right to walk into that booth easily and conveniently, and not to feel like a criminal when you're doing it, and to say, this is what I feel. And I think that if we lose that right, then we are on our way back to the dark old days and the bad times. And I think that everything that you guys are doing is immensely important. I am an absolute 100% patriot. I love this country. I don't want to live anywhere else. I'm not, heading for the hills, but this is a really crucial time. And so I'm just here to say, keep up the good work and keep up the good fight. And thank you for everything that you're doing.
And I am going to say thank you so very much for joining us. It is a thrill for me. I'm going, you know what? I'm going to go dig out my copy of Footloose and I'm going to dance with it. I love that. I love that. So, and what you say, Kevin, is so true. We don't really teach civics anymore, but here at Center for Common Ground, that is going to be one of the things we roll out in 2022. And a shout out to John Williams and Anthony Hall, who started our first draft of our Civics 101. And because we work in so many different states, we are going to customize that for the individual states, the individual locales where we have people working so that they can begin to understand how government is supposed to work. If you don't know what government is supposed to do, then when government stops serving the people and stops doing anything worthwhile, then you probably won't notice. So we're going to step into the breach on that one and work on helping people understand that we, the people, it's not we, the corporations or some other entity, it's we, the people, are really in charge of our government. And we, the people, need to determine what is in our best interest. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy life schedule and family schedule
Thank you
to
so much.
join us tonight.
And Kira sends her best. She's sorry she couldn't be here.
Love to you both.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.